Welcome to the video. Today, we're going to be helping you decide whether quitting your job and becoming a nomad is the right decision for you.
So you're thinking of grabbing a sleeping bag, a couple of your daily essentials, throwing it in the back of a van, and driving off into the sunset. We get it. When you're at work, you'd rather be anywhere else.
You watch endless YouTube videos from all these creators who somehow just seem like they've got it made, that they're waking up to a sunrise on the edge of the Grand Canyon or chilling on a beach somewhere, and you're sitting here thinking, damn, must be nice.
And then you vaguely wonder if that could ever be you.
Which has led you here, wondering if the nomad life is actually for you. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Dylan.
And I'm Shelby.
And in the summer of 2022, we quit our jobs, sold our house, bought a travel trailer, and lived that nomadic lifestyle pretty much until the winter hit. So we have firsthand experience with this kind of life.
The very first thing that you should think about before jumping into the mobile lifestyle is that it's not as sexy as everyone on YouTube and Instagram makes it seem. Now, obviously, if you're going for the van/RV type of lifestyle, you're going to face different issues than if you're flying from place to place.
So the first thing you really need to consider is security. And no, I'm not talking about bodyguard security. Security is the price you pay for your freedom. Unless you just somehow have boatloads of cash stashed away, which is unlikely given that the reason you're probably watching this video is because you're stuck at a job that you really dislike and you're stuck there because of money, and that's why you just want to leave it all behind because it's too damn stressful.
Well, living on the road isn't stressless by any means. One of the biggest stressors is not having that sense of security, not knowing where you're going to be, how you're going to pay your bills, and not having that home that you can go back to.
At first, this can be super exhilarating. I know it was for me when we started our journey. I was like, I can go where I want, when I want, and ain't nobody gonna tell me otherwise. But on the flip side of that coin, it can start to weigh on you at times. It can be nerve-wracking not knowing what the next few months are gonna hold. But that's just the price you pay, because freedom ain't free, baby.
So just think long and hard about it and ask yourself, am I the kind of person that can deal with that type of uncertainty? If your answer is a hard no, then maybe you should reconsider.
So the next thing you should consider before embarking on a journey like this is, what are you gonna do for work?
Do you already have a job where you can work from home? Do you plan on getting one? Or do you plan on building a digital company of some sorts?
Obviously, there's a lot of variables here. Maybe you're looking to transition into a job where you can work remotely. How long is that gonna take? Also, another thing you need to think about, are you gonna have internet at the places that you're planning to travel to? In our case, for example, going out to these remote national parks, getting internet proved to be very difficult.
So think about how you're going to get internet. Buy the devices that you need because those suckers can be expensive.
But if you take that into account in the beginning stages, when you're planning out your finances, it'll be much less of a burden. Also, if you're planning on quitting your current job and building some sort of digital company, do you have the skills required to do that?
If you don't, that's totally okay. You just need to recognize that, figure out what you need to learn, and also factor in time for that learning curve.
And maybe these skills are something that you can start to learn while you're saving up money to embark on this nomad journey. Whatever your situation is, make sure you just come up with a plan for how you're gonna make the moolah during your journey. Another point you really need to think long and hard about is the fact that it can get pretty darn lonely. Perhaps this is something you're thinking about doing with your spouse, in which case it can be slightly less lonely, but still, the feeling of being alone will definitely hit you hard at times. Similarly to the first point about security, in the beginning you feel very rejuvenated and free, being away from all the negative family members and coworkers that dragged you down, but eventually you're gonna end up missing your family and friends.
At some point, you're gonna want a night out with your friends, and that's not really a thing when you're living a mobile life.
And while it's not impossible to make friends while traveling, in fact, you'll actually probably meet a lot of really cool people along the way. But forming those lasting relationships can prove to be very, very difficult when you're not in one place for an extended period of time. The positive side of this pitfall, at least, is it makes seeing your family and friends that much more special when you actually do get to see them. If you live close by and see them regularly, sometimes you start to take it for granted.
And the last major thing you need to consider is, are you willing to downsize? Whether you're going to do a van life or decide to travel the world by air and can only have a few suitcases, this is something you really need to think about.
You're not gonna have room for more than a few pairs of clothes. You're not gonna have room for more than a few dishes, which, I mean, I guess less dishes to wash, less dishes to use though. Being a nomad really does require somewhat of a minimalistic mindset and attitude.
So if you're someone that has tons of stuff or needs a lot of things to survive, then traveling as a nomad might prove to be difficult for you.
Or maybe you currently do have a lot of stuff, but you're willing to donate and sell a lot of that junk because, let's be honest, how much of it do you really use?
We are all guilty of it, of hoarding the old crap that we don't really need.
Embarking on a journey like this can give you the opportunity to let go of the old and bring in the new. And maybe that's not new stuff, maybe that's new experiences. Because ultimately, isn't that what life's about?
At the end of our lives, we'll remember the things that we did, not the stuff that our relatives fight over once we kick the bucket.
And that is where we're gonna wrap this video up. We hope this got your gears turning and got you thinking so you can ultimately decide whether or not a nomad lifestyle is for you.
Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we will see all of y'all in the next video.